Welcome to Lesson 8.4a, Finding the Least Common Denominators of Rational Expressions. Our objective is I can find the least common denominator of rational expressions. So let's look at a problem from the warm-up here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the tools that we're going to use later, even though we can probably do this one in our heads. 3 times 6, which is 2 times 3. Then, of course, I make a table. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a 12 row and an 18 row. In my 12 row, my factors are 2 times 2 times 3. In my 18 row, my factors are 2 times 3 times 3. I drop down all of the columns. 2 times 3 times 3, which is 36. So I know that my common denominator, I need to rewrite these as something over 36. Now, how do I get there? So I look for my wholes. I'm missing this one for 12. That's a 3. So I'm going to multiply this by 3 over 3 to get 21 over 36. I need to look for my wholes. Here's my whole here. That's a 2. So I'm going to multiply this one by 2 over 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Now I can add them together and I'll get 31 over 36. So our strategy for these, for just finding the least common denominator, we're going to be adding rational expressions together over the next couple of videos, but for right now, we're going to be factoring each expression completely, listing the factors of each expression, matching things vertically when we can, breaking down the columns, and then multiplying the factors. Remember that we never want to make the denominator 0. If we ever do that, then that's bad. So let's work on this one. I'm going to be factoring this guy. This is going to factor into x times x and negative 3 times positive 1. So if I factor this guy out, this is going to be 8 over x minus 3 times x plus 1. This one is x times x and 3 times 1. So if I factor this, this is going to be 3x over x plus 3 times x plus 1. Next, I need to make my table. So my table is going to look like this. X minus 3 times x plus 1 is going to have a row. And x plus 3, x plus 1 is going to have a row. Now I just need to line them all up where I can. I'll have x minus 3 times x plus 1. I can fill in an x plus 1 here, leaving x plus 3 to be out in the cold. Now I can drop them all down vertically, and that'll give me my least common denominator. I'm going to leave them factored if that's okay with you. That'll save us some time later. So that's our least common denominator, which will be on the bottom when we add them together over the next couple of videos. Go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own. Now that you've tried it on your own, let's do it together. So what we're going to want to do is factor this guy on the left, and it's going to be x times x, and this will be negative 4 times positive 3. The one on the right will be x times x. This will be negative 4 times positive 4. Now I can make my table. I'll have an x minus 4 row, x plus 3, and I'll have an x minus 4, x plus 4 row. So when I do that, that'll give me x minus 4 times x plus 3. I'll fill in an x minus 4 and an x plus 4. Drop everything down vertically. that'll give me x minus 4 times x plus 3 times x plus 4 as my least common denominator. And I'm done. So let's try this one now. We're going to do the same exact thing, except now we're going to also write them as equivalent rational expressions with a certain denominator. So I've already found the least common denominator here. Now we need to get to that. So I'm going to factor, and I'll get x times x and negative 3 times positive 1. For the one on the right, I'll get x times x and positive 3 positive 1. Now I'm going to rewrite these as their factored form. So this will be x minus 3, x plus 1 on the bottom. And this one will be x plus 3, x plus 1 on the bottom. Remember, I want to get these eventually to x plus 1 times x minus 3 times x plus 3. So I'm going to clear the board in order to give me some space. And I have to ask myself, what do I have to do? Oops. How do I get this red one to look like that? Look like this up here. So it looks like I'm missing an x plus 3. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x plus 3. How do I get the green one there? Looks like I'm missing an x minus 3. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply both the top and the bottom by those factors. For the red one, that'll give me 8 times x plus 3 over x plus 3 times x minus 3 times x plus 1. For the green one, that'll give me 3x times x minus 3 over x plus 3 times x plus 1 times x minus 3. Now I'm going to distribute out the numerators of both of these. That'll give me 8x plus 24 over x plus 3 times x minus 3 times x plus 1. For the green one, 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times negative 3 is minus 9x over x plus 3 times x plus 1 times x minus 3. And I'm done. Excellent. So that's how we did the one on the left, the red one, and the one on the right, the green one. Go ahead and try this on your own. And I'll see you in a second. Now that you've tried it on your own, let's do this last one together. So, what we want to do is, first thing we want to do is factor. And I want to factor this one on the left. This will be x times x and negative 3 and negative 5. This one on the right, you already did it, so you know that it's 3 times 6 and x times x. And we know that we want to get to x plus 3 times x plus 5 times x plus 6. So, you know that we need to go x over x minus 3 times x minus 5. And the one on the right is 5 over x plus 3, x plus 6. So this green one is missing. What is it missing? Well, it's missing an x plus 3. So I'm going to multiply by that to the top and the bottom. And this one on the right, it's missing an x minus 3. So I'm going to multiply by that to the top and the bottom. So when I do that, that'll give me 5 times x minus 3 on the top over x plus 3 times x plus 6 times x minus 3. This one on the left will be x times x plus 3. Oh, not plus, it's times x plus 3 over x plus 3 times x minus 3 times x minus 5. I'm going to make myself some more room again. By doing this, I'm going to move all of this work up, just so it's easier to see. Looks like I don't need these anymore. There we go. So in that last step, we can distribute that x to everything on the top. So that'll be x squared plus 3x over x plus 3 times x minus 3 times x minus 5, which is great. We're done with the one on the left. Now it's time to do the one on the right. The one on the right, I'm going to need to distribute, and that'll give me 5x minus 15 over x plus 3 times x plus 6 times x minus 3. And I'm done with the one on the right. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.